Hello, students and fusion writers. We are so happy to have you joining us for the second lesson in the series. Even though they don't have to go in order, feel free to pop in anytime. I'm going to welcome Kathleen, my co-teacher and my hero and person who pushes me along. So say hi to Kathleen.
Hi, folks. Thanks for coming back. Victoria's going to go first, and I'll see you after she teaches you more about plot points.
Awesome. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so that you're looking at the plot points. But remember, over in LiLLiPub, you can grab your own plot cheat sheet, and that way you can worksheet along with me as we go. So I'm going to share my screen. So you might remember from yesterday that I've divided the basic plot structure into 4 parts. Okay, so today is going to provide you the map for how to start breaking your story down. In the first act, we have 2 key pieces which provide the beginning framework for your story. And when I say story, I mean novel. We're talking about writing fiction here, so I do mean novel, but this structure also works for a short story if you want to start small. So don't feel you have to expand yourself beyond your capability or your interest. If you want to write something smaller, absolutely. We do not run by hard and fast rules here. We are very casual and very forgiving of however you want to attack the material. With that said, in Act 1, the first thing that we do is we meet the hero. In future lessons, we're going to talk about how to build a protagonist. But I want you to pay close attention when Kathleen is talking about the trait of resilience, because that is a critical piece if you're talking about building a hero. So as you're thinking about what gender is your hero, what are some of their basic personality traits, what are their likes and dislikes, as you're mulling those things over, I want you to be thinking about how you're going to introduce this person. You'll notice the next item down on the list is the disturbance or the hook. That's just a shorthand way of talking about what thing is going to happen to your main character in order to kick off the story. We'll get a little deeper into it when we start workshopping, but suffice it to say, hooking your reader is what I like to refer to as the offering. The offering is making an offer, making a gesture in your story to your reader using that main character, which says, this is going to be great fun. This is going to be a fun story to read. So you're just hooking them in by shaking something up in that character's life right off the bat. The next thing down is the first plot point. The first plot point is the first major thing that happens that changes your main character's life so that they can't go backward. Whatever that thing is, they have to now go forward in the story. They have to face it, deal with it, call up their resilience because they can't go back. Often we call this the break into Act 2. So as you break into Act 2, you're going to face the first battle. Now that usually happens pretty soon, but we're going to talk in a later lesson about timing and how you line out the timing of these items. But I just want you to have a sense of how they flow together. So your first battle is when your hero is faced with that first major challenge. Usually that's also when they first meet either the villain or the antagonist. And we're going to talk about the differences between those in a future lesson. So we'll put a pin in that. But after the first battle, generally your hero is going to get kicked down, and that's going to bring them to the midpoint. The midpoint is when your hero looks in the mirror and says, what have I become? What has become of my life? If I don't change, I am never going to get past this. That's a key feature where you're going to use resilience, because that's critical to your main character looking in the mirror and being able to muster their strength and get ready to push on into the story. As we get into Act 3, we like to call this is when that character becomes active. They're no longer just a passive participant in the story. They become active and they start gathering their forces. That brings them into the second battle, and the second battle's outcome is what launches them into the third plot point. The third plot point is what sets up your finale. So in Act 4, generally your villain is going to gain an advantage, and that's going to require your hero to muster all of their strength, all of their resources in order that they can push on through that final battle and then ultimately have their big win, their growth, their final change. And then you're going to wrap it all up in a bow at the end by giving them a rebirth, kind of a reflection, a nice soft landing. Show them in that new world that they have battled through in order to get to, and give your reader what I call the settlement. That's the satisfying ending that settles all of the things that you've offered throughout the story. So for this week, as you start thinking through resilience and the traits that Kathleen's going to talk you through, I want you to think about, how does that apply to the person that I envision as my main character? And how does looking at these 4 acts and these 8 plot points play in to the challenges that I can throw at them to demonstrate that resilience? So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Kathleen. I'm going to encourage you to get your plot cheat sheet so that you can start making those notes of what ideas, what scenes, what traits, what do I want to do with this main character, and how am I going to challenge them through the story? So thank you for your attention. I will hand the baton over.
Thank you, Victoria, very much. It was an excellent presentation, and it really, the two fit in tremendously well. And I'd also like to remind you, one of the advantages of being over in LiLLiPub is this course is completely free over there. LiLLiPub isn't totally free, but it's not very expensive. So you'll find that the dues are quite low, but they give you all of the capabilities of LiLLiPub. And this course and all beginner courses at LiLLiPub are no extra charge. That's part of our motto. Beginning courses are always free on LiLLiPub, once you've paid your dues. Modest dues, very modest. So to get to the resilience, aspects of resilience, it's really tightly tied to the plot points. Because when you think about it, when you think about Act 1, when the challenge is first presented to your hero, there is the question comes up, is the hero going to accept the challenge or not? And there are basically 3 ways that the hero can deal with the challenge. One is to try to duck it, which is just kick the can down the road. I won't try to bring up resilience yet. I just won't face it right now. But if you're a story, you will make him come to a spot where it has to be faced. And then there are the other 2 ways that can be handled. One is the temptation of cowardice, to just bristle and say, I can't do this. I'm not up for this. I can't do this. And of course, you won't let your hero make that choice, but you do want to get the butterflies going in your reader, because you want them to understand that, how would you feel? Would you be ready to go into that battle, or would you be saying, I don't know, is there any way I can duck this? So cowardice that's where the first trace of cowardice can come in. But there's actually another mechanism which is equally problematic that you might not think about it, and that is recklessness. To just get in there, swish, 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 and get it over with. It's the desire to force closure prematurely. I can just do this, and then it'll be all over. Well, sometimes that is the very makings of your first battle. It is the attempt to, well, all I have to do is X, and then, oh no, that just made things worse. And now you're in the thick of things. So then, remember when Victoria was telling you about the transition into the second half, where the character has to look himself into the mirror? That's the point in time where now the hero really understands the challenges of the journey, and there's a big temptation. This is it. If he goes forward now, it's a real commitment. There's no backing out. So there's a strong temptation, and there's another internal battle for strength that requires resilience to get through that other battle. And then when it comes down to the final gathering of strength, you'll find that as the hero brings about his courage and faces that third challenge and finds that he can bring courage with some success, and maybe not some success because he's still not totally practiced in it, but his courage is growing, then the courage becomes supercharged. And by the time he faces that final battle, He's in there, heart, soul, leading the charge. And there's no question about the commitment. And that supercharging of that courage just comes right through the page because your reader has had the experience of all of those emotions throughout the story. So be thinking about those plot points, be feeling them, be feeling what would you feel like in that setting? How would you feel? Because that is going to be what you're going to basically be wanting to sketch out. And we'll be there to help you. We'll be there to answer questions, especially Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Think about it today. Pardon me, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Think about it, pick up your materials, pick up your sheet on the resilience and what's involved in resilience, pick up the plot point sheet and start playing with it, ask your questions, talk to your classmates about it, and start getting a few things down on paper or file cards, as Victoria suggests. Actually, I like the bigger ones better. So thank you very much for joining us. And if we'll see you tomorrow over in LiLLiPub. Well, actually, if you come and say hi today, we'll say hi right back. So you don't even have to wait till tomorrow. But mostly we'll see you tomorrow. We'll talk about things over there. We'll chit chat. There is a posting area where you can post what you write, and there's a chat area. So you can chit chat in the chat area and keep a conversation going. If you have something that you want us to read, where you have a feeling that you really want to express and you want to be able to respond to, put that in the posting area. And if it's just, hey, hi, how are you? There's a chat area. So they're all there. And then there's a materials section where you can find the worksheets. Again, once you're a member, there's no charge for this. It's just the club dues. And by the way, the LiLLiPub dues keep the lights on at LiLLiPub. That's what they're there for. This is a .org, and LiLLiPub itself is dedicated. We're not an official .org yet. We hope to be one day, but the goal of LiLLiPub is that any of the club dues are there to keep LiLLiPub going, and that's it. It's not about making profits for LiLLiPub. So see you over there. And if you, for some reason you can't, that's all right. We'll see you back here next Monday on YouTube. So I'll say goodbye and I'll turn it over to Victoria to close us out.
Thank you so much. Again, thank you for sharing your time with us. I know I often say that time is our most precious resource, and we very, very much appreciate you sharing your time with us. I think you will find a lot of value in our ability to co-present and play off of each other's very different but very cohesive ideas and products. So do come over to LiLLiPub, join us, take a few minutes to introduce yourself. The reason that we're here is because we want to serve you. We want to find our people and build something with you that's going to help you become the best writer, the best reader that you can be. That's why we exist. So come join us. You are welcome. There are throw pillows and lovely bookcases all around. So take advantage of it, and we'll see you over there. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.